What's up, everybody? Latino Free Minds, episode 21. Shit. How you doing, man?
How's it going, man? Good to be back.
Yeah, for sure, man. No, I'm just here, work, same old, same old.
Yeah,
But now, man, shit, can't believe we're like 21 episodes in. It's kind of crazy, It just
steady roll.
it's a low number, but it's also like, man, it's like we're 21 episodes in, so
Yeah,
that's kind of cool too. Um, you've been a part of what? This is your third one, I think. So,
yeah.
hey, man, honorary honorary guest host.
Third official.
Third
21,
time.
man, seems like a little bit, but if you put that in hours, it's a lot. It's
Yeah,
been a while ago.
yeah,
Many, many
and
moons.
it's crazy. Like a lot of the stuff that's happened since we started doing this, the show, until now. It's like I think we were talking about it a few episodes ago, like that validation, because like we talk about things, and then next thing you know, here's an example of this and that. So it's kind of crazy to talk about things and then kind of see them play out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was gonna listen to the DeSantis thing today, right? Because I think it was at 3 on Twitter, but it kept crashing. So like Twitter kept shutting down. So I didn't really get to listen to it, but it is official. Ron DeSantis is running for president. So, what do you feel about that? What's your take on that? Just
The
kind of.
sanctimonious? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. It might be too tight for his britches, man.
Yeah, I. What I think is because obviously, I mean, who else announced? I think Tim Scott is the other guy, right?
Right.
Uh, um, Nikki Haley. I think Larry Elder. But I mean, honestly, I mean, you can't. They're not gonna
Right.
compete, right? It's obviously it's a two-man show right now.
Right.
For the most part, it was a one-man show, but now obviously with DeSantis officially joining, it's a two-man show.
Right.
Um, I don't know. From my point of view, is they both got their pros and their cons, right? Um, you know, obviously Trump during his presidency, what he was doing, we lived through it. It was good economically. It was just, things were better for us. Like quality of life was way better, obviously, than it is today.
Right.
And then, DeSantis, obviously during COVID, I think for the most part he handled it. He handled it pretty damn good, as far as keeping his state pretty open, right? Pretty free. So I think they both got their pros and cons. Um, I wouldn't say I'm leaning more toward one towards the other. I think we'd have to, from my point of view, probably have to hear them both out and see what they got to say, right? Because I mean, it's a whole new election, a bunch of new different things, from 2020 till this next election is a lot of different stuff going on. So
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think? I think like everyone has to kind of like not dig their feet into one guy just yet, but like try to I don't know, hear them both out and then see where you stand. I mean, I
Yeah.
think obviously Trump has the edge because he's already been president, but
Right.
they're both uh pretty good. I wouldn't have minded if they both ran together,
Right.
president and VP, but
And I agree. I think that would be cool. I think it would be cool if say for some reason DeSantis does have to pull out, and I do think Trump is a favorite, but it's gonna be cool to see because there is gonna be another split amongst even more division inside the GOP.
yeah,
Um, because there are people that want to step away from Trump. It's understandable, and there's people that think, again, DeSantis is funded by Soros, you know, so it's one of those things, you know,
Yeah.
it's all, you know, you got both sides and you can hear them out the same, but you know, you know that I was a fan of DeSantis, you know, I
Hmm.
just think he's young. I like young, you know what I'm saying. Trump is even if he is sharper than Biden, but I do like the spice, man. If there's anybody that's gonna get us out of out of any type of pickle, I think Trump's got it, and DeSantis is still. I see a little I don't know squirreliness in him. I wish I could tell you why,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's one of those. I think the alpha is the big guy, the big orange guy.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think you're right on that. I think the experience that Trump has as far as already being president, having been president of the United States, has gives him that edge. And again, obviously, if it wasn't for the media and all the stuff that they kind of pushed out there to the people, which we talked about on the last episode, was none of it was true, like the whole Russia thing. If the media hadn't done that for like the last, how long has it been, 7 years ago, 6 7 years ago, who knows where we would have been right now. Maybe Trump would have been in his second term, and you're talking about maybe Trump endorsing DeSantis for 24, right? But
Right.
we don't know, because there was a lot of stuff that went on that affected us, the people, the public, how they voted, and where we are today.
Yeah.
But you know,
Even if you want to go ahead and take a page out of their book, right? The vaccine, right? Did that not get held back a little bit?
yeah,
Whether you believe in it or want, go for it, but it's still something that if you think with 100%, again, we're in the dark. You think 100% that it's gonna kill COVID or whatever you think it's gonna do,
hmm,
you hold out a couple months when you're insisting. You're literally putting a block of a number block of how the ticker pretty much
yeah,
of how many people are dying a day, but you hold out just because you don't want to release it under a certain presidency. You don't want
yeah,
to give that person credit. Why? So they don't manipulate your vote or whatever it may be. It's one of those. It was a lot that they did. Full storm all the way to
yeah.
Twitter, FBI, the alpha.
Because I
you know
mean, Trump's first 3 years were were dope. You know, like I said, the quality of life. You people were making money. There was jobs. Um, all that good stuff. Quality of life was just way better under Trump. That's like, to me, that's undeniable. Like, you can't dispute that, right? If you take away all the manipulation, all the scandal that the media ended up over exaggerating, right? Because again, none of it was true. It's been proven time and time again. Everything that they brought up against him hasn't been true at all. So those first 3 years were good. So obviously his last year with COVID, that was rougher, because you're dealing with something, a pandemic, right? Whether it was planned or not, we don't know. But you know, it it affected his last term, his last year as president. But if we take that year out, Trump's first 3 years were good, and that's where he has the edge, right? Again, DeSantis, I think he handled the after COVID better. Um, Especially, for his state, right? Florida, he was keeping them open.
Yeah.
Uh, he wasn't mandating any vaccines. I believe even his what do they call it, surgeon generals, right? That he
Yeah.
appointed. Even that guy was saying, men between the ages of, I think, 18 and 35 probably shouldn't be taking it. So like they were sticking with facts, right? When it
Right.
came
Right.
to how to handle that. But again, he hasn't had that experience as a president, so um, you know, I, I think it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I think they're both good, but you are seeing, right, that split right now, and like conservatives there, it's like Ron's a rhino, or Trump is too, how could you put it, polarizing. So
Right.
it's
Right.
like, there we go, splitting off again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I think my only thing against Trump is he should have fired Fauci.
Oh, you
That's
shouldn't.
another. That's podcast 32. That's for that agenda. Hold
Episode
on.
32.
Hold to your seat, guys.
Yeah, because something else will come up right by then when you have to talk about that guy. But this is the ad that DeSantis put out. So I'm gonna play it. That way you can hear it and then just kind of, you know, see how you feel about it.
Don't be lame, dude.
I don't know if you saw it yet or not, but just here you go.
Go. Lay it on me.
Our border is a disaster. Crime infests our cities. The federal government makes it harder for families to make ends meet, and the president flounders. But decline is a choice. Success is attainable, and freedom is worth fighting for. Righting the ship requires restoring sanity to our society, normalcy to our communities, and integrity to our institutions. Truth must be our foundation, and common sense can no longer be an uncommon virtue. In Florida, we proved that it can be done. We chose facts over fear, education over indoctrination, law and order over rioting and disorder. We held the line when freedom hung in the balance. We showed that we can and must revitalize America. We need the courage to lead and the strength to win. I'm Ron DeSantis, and I'm running for president to lead our great American comeback.
So what'd you think of that ad?
I think that's Trump in the PG Trump. That's just him. Being trying to be nice, I guess. I don't like it.
You
Not
didn't
my
like
cup
it?
of tea. You know. Uh, I
I
don't
thought,
know if he was like they used a radio host voice or.
mm, yeah, no, well, I'm not mad at it because I think I think what he did that was good in this particular ad was that I guess you could say he stated the obvious, right? Which is, the borders are, you know, a disaster. The country's, it's like we're in this position because that's what we chose, basically, right? In choosing Biden, this is what the country chose. Now, I think that's why like the ad is good because he's talking about the obvious things that people can relate to. You know what I mean? So I think that's where like as far as that ad where it was good and it makes sense. I think that for the first ad, I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah, it was clean. I mean, that's gonna get your base pretty much. The GOP, the not too heavy on the right. You know,
Yeah.
didn't mention a couple things in there, but
Yeah, I
he
think he's obviously trying to be
he's teetotaling, dude. I'm gonna say it.
yeah.
He's teetotaling.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
you
he's
gotta do it in the beginning, man, and then later you get into the nitty gritty, and then. But again, man, you're gonna have to pass. You're gonna have to walk in front of Trump, dude, at one point, and he's gonna call you out, man. Come on.
yeah.
If he says Ron DeSanctimonious in front of a crowd, man, it's going down. No matter what he says, he can put on whatever radio host voice DeSantis wants. He's gonna
Uh,
walk outside.
yeah, I mean, again, I would have preferred to see them team up and, have like this I would that'd be like a super,
Well, I
ticket, if
think
you
that's
will.
what Trump has to do. Trump has to make him his boss.
But then okay, so like
You bring your enemies closer, man.
that's
Now
true.
you're gonna have to work with me. Eh,
Because at this point, like I mean, I don't know other than maybe Carrie Lake, I don't know who else Trump would pick.
yeah, if he wants
But
to go, yeah, you're right. If he wants to, it is right. Somebody would. I don't know, man.
It's like if you try to think about like the candidates for vice president, I was thinking, okay, he might be thinking Carrie Lake, he
I
might be
just think
thinking Tim
Carrie Lake
Scott.
is too much of a yes man, a yes woman, or whatever,
Mm,
to Trump. The- DeSantis would be a great vice president because they won't agree on things, and it's not like things won't get passed if those two don't get along, right? I
hmm
think there'll be a good balance,
Yeah,
you
because
know.
I would have thought maybe Tim Scott, just to again to kind of keep a balance. Um, but who knows? I mean, like I said, those other people that are in the race, I mean, I mean, they're just in to be in, I guess, right, to participate. But
Can
you know,
if
it'll
you're
be those two.
president, can you run as for governor
Well,
after
yeah, I mean,
X-Men?
if you're so he's DeSantis is the governor of Florida right now, right? So you can run for president and still be the governor. I think in Florida, I don't know. Certain states don't allow you to do both. So if you're going to run for president in some states, you have to basically step down from being governor.
Could
So
could your boy Trump run for governor?
yeah, he could run for
After, all
governor
right, say, again, hypotheticals, right? Trump wins this one, brings on DeSantis as his vice. He does it unwillingly, whatever, but he gets, he gets to hold the steering wheel every now and then. Gets to dip his toes in the water. Following year, Trump goes ahead and does the thing in Florida with DeSantis endorsement.
Hey.
DeSantis does 12 years.
Hey, we'll see. For us. Yeah. Well, we'll see how that all plays out. I think it's gonna get very interesting. Like I'm interested to
It
see
is. It
their,
is.
whenever they have their debates. Yeah, I mean, again, it should just be them two.
No
I mean,
talking about
everybody
wives. No talking about wives.
it'll be them two for sure. And you know, I think that Trump will, get the nomination. I think he will beat DeSantis as far as getting the GOP nomination for presidency. But you know, DeSantis is in a sense he's a wild card too because you never know if those debates,
Right.
he can, like, what if he ends up mopping the floor with Trump
Yeah.
on the debates?
Yeah.
So you never know, right? But we'll see. We'll
And
see what
then
happens. And
the
what was that?
no, I just think the other part is when the GOP is not saying but telling you, hey, we're done with Trump. We're done with this guy. Now this is the
Mhm,
guy, right? And
mhm.
that's the kind of thing that got Trump to win in the
Yeah,
first place, right? They want
yeah.
Trump, right?
And
But
and I think that's
people
what makes
saw the
people like,
realness in them.
yeah, I think that's what makes people dig their like feet into like, no, I'm sticking with Trump all the way because yeah, and then you
Right,
you do
right.
have the establishment all for
The
this one guy.
establishment is the word. Yeah,
And it makes it questionable, right? It makes people think, okay, why are they going so hard for this guy?
yeah.
So hey, we'll see how that plays out. But
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure as it plays out, we'll be talking about it here. So may the best man win.
Hey,
But whew, world's going crazy.
brother.
um, so obviously, before we had talked about the Bud Light thing, how they messed up, and they got I forget that guy's name, but they got that guy as in, what do you call it, ambassador or whatever,
Mm,
and they lost money. They're still losing money. As far as I've seen, it's like there's always stories that they're buying back beer that didn't get sold, or they have these like crazy rebates where it's like you buy a case of beer and you're basically mail this in and you get all your money back. So it's like they're practically giving away
right.
the Bud Light, and they've lost a lot of money. So they kind of learned the hard way, right? And then, you know, and then Miller Lite comes through, and it's like, hold my beer. and, then, and then they get real feminist, right? It's like they should have just, you know, take it easy, let Bud Light like let the competitor just end themselves, but they're like, nah, let's jump in, let's let's join this action. And they had their ad, and then so now you got all these corporations just after this all this Bud Light thing happens, like they're still
doubling
y-
down.
doubling down. Exactly. It's a good way to put it. Doubling down on all this agenda, right? Um, so obviously you got Target. You walk into a Target, the first thing you see is their big old pride. It's right as soon as you walk, at least in every Target I've walked into recently, it's like the first thing you see. It's like their pride section. Boom, here. This is what it is, right? And most of that stuff is probably some of the ugliest clothes I ever seen. I mean, just to be honest, I don't know what person would really want to buy that. But it's there, right? Pandering, virtue signals. Here, check it out. Um, exactly. It's all there in your face. And then so they do their pride thing, throw it in the front of the store, and then they end up basically collabing with some other brand that's in it, an LGBT whatever brand, but they're really satanic also. They had stuff like, I think one of their items says Satan respects pronouns. Um uh Destroy
Damn.
this.
Whoa.
You know what I mean? Like,
What?
yeah, no, you didn't see it?
I haven't seen that one, but that's oh man.
I gotta show you that now. I'm gonna look it up.
Oh man. Yeah,
Yeah,
man. It's
it's
you're finding yourself, not being able to wear certain brands and getting sad because it's like, what if they start taking? Not, I'm not saying a takeover, but you know, same thing happens with Welch's grape soda. Dude, I love grape soda, man. Do I give it up? I might have to.
yeah. There's one that says here. It says homophobe headrest, and it's basically a guillotine. Like the here. Let's see. No,
Hilarious.
and this is who Target. They
Dang.
decided to.
Okay. Little war going on inside of Target.
Oh, I don't. Here, let me see if I can.
Oh man, dude. So what? Wait, Walmart?
It's not even. So you see it right there. It says homophobe headrest. So that's one of them.
Huh.
And then the other one's right next to it. Here, let me go back there. This one right here. This is the other pin
Oh, real
or the
goat.
shirt. Yeah. So and I believe this is the guy. Like this is his brand. So you know, so you have that Target. Not only do they have their pride section like front and center, then they go and collab with this guy, and the stuff that this guy pushes out and sells is it's so demonic. And it, what I don't get is like how does Target get to that point? You know what I mean? Like they've already seen what Bud Light has gone through, so then they do it and they double down. So that's what I don't understand is why do these companies just keep going?
And it makes you wonder because if that guy's a designer, what is he just getting paid to slap on the rainbow and on clothes and go, voila, this is my, it took me a while. Let me put the devil right here. Oh, they're gonna like this one.
Yeah,
What's that about? What happened to, I don't even know what the people look like, that make but again, man, it goes from Target all the way to Balenciaga,
yeah,
makes you wonder if the high end stuff, they sell more of the low end Target, Walmart type things. They have a greater reach.
Yeah.
But
I just don't get it because, you know, it's such a small percentage of the population, right? And then, before we go on that, it's like then the North Face has their they just decided to do a drag brand ambassador. Um and it's like, what is the point? You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I'm
I think they're
just
just really proud. Oh, well, pride, right? But I mean, no, is nothing else this proud to, like, have its own section in the. I've seen the.
you know what I mean? Like out, when I North Face, aren't they like, I don't know, super outdoorsy and you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
mountains, hiking and camping, and it's like why do they need this?
yeah.
You know?
And it's funny because they support this, right? And they'll go out of their way to make a really cool sweater with a rainbow flag around one band or something like that. But they're also supporting, Christian projects and stuff. But you don't see the North Face with the cross on the back, or whatever it is. That they don't go that far. But like I said, I guess they're just really proud.
But it's also like, you know, why? Why? Why you throwing
Yeah.
it in everybody's face? Why you jamming it down people's throats? Is what I
Ooh,
don't get. It's
pause.
like, it's what's the point? Again, you're already seeing what other companies are are going through for pulling this stuff, and they continue to do it. And I think that, you know, I
ten
don't know. I
percent.
for the life of me, like I can't like make it make sense as far as like why that's being done. Um, you know, I don't know. What do you think? I can't make it make sense.
Hey man, I mean, like I said, man, I like going into these stores. I like some of these brands. North Face is a good brand. Was a good brand. You know, Target, I can get everything.
Hmm.
But it is unmotivating to go to these stores when you see something so blatant. And I don't know. Do you want to say it's unfair, or do you want to say that it's just what's hip right now? Or
But is
uh,
is it is it hip? You know what
for
I mean?
10%, it just, I guess that all, they're just yelling really, really loud.
Yeah. I mean, okay. So because I had to Google it, right? Because they are the loudest group, right? So it's like, okay, how many of these people are there really? Okay. So I Googled it. How many people in the United States identify under LGBTQ, whatever? I don't know how many letters there are. And so from what I got from Gallup is 7.2% of what is it? Americans identify. They consider themselves in that bracket.
Oh
7.2%
man,
of the
doesn't even count the
population.
immigrants.
So, so then you go, okay, well that's nothing, right? It's less than 10%. And then so then I decided, okay, well, I'm gonna Google this because when they pander to this group, right? They're for the most part disrespecting or yeah, disrespecting the Christian community because the Christian community obviously doesn't agree with all of this stuff. So then I went to Google again and I said, okay, how many people in the United States identify or consider themselves Christian? So according to Google,
Don Lemon.
63%. 63% of the US population is Christian. So again, so when I see these numbers and I go, okay, like that makes that makes no sense. And why are we letting that 7% of the population dictate what the other 63% have to put up with. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
The question is, why are they not yelling?
or is it
63% can overpower.
or is it just, have Christians just become so soft
Yeah.
that they're not? I mean, I feel like now a little bit more is, people are speaking up more. Obviously, like I said, Bud Light's suffering. I think Target, uh, they pulled some of that stuff out, that they had, and I'm pretty sure North Face is gonna feel it, and they're gonna backpedal a little. And with that too, it's like the Dodgers. You know, the Dodgers.
Oh man, blasphemy.
This one, like, I don't get it. Okay, so
Yeah.
obviously LA, right? LA is
Todd Bowley,
very
what are you doing?
LA is very
Todd.
Latino, right? A lot of Latinos, for one. Um, a lot of Latinos are, for the most part, Catholic or Christian,
Fourth
right?
world, fifth generation.
So, you know, so they had initially invited this group, which is called the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. So they're
Ooh, they
having
be
their
indulgent.
they had their Pride night. I don't know when. Oh, June 16th is when they're gonna have it at Dodger Stadium. So they had this group invited, and then they they had some feedback from people, and they're like, "Why are you inviting this group?" Because what they do is basically mock nuns and the Christian faith, right? So as you can see them right there, I'm not making it up. That's a picture of that group, and they're dressed as quote unquote nuns.
Cain?
So what was that?
It looked like Cain, Undertaker's brother.
But they got uninvited, and then
Mm.
after the minority got angry again, then they re-invited him. So being in LA, like I said, it's a lot of Latinos, a lot of Dodger fans specifically are Latinos. Um, a lot of Latinos, for the most part, again, I said, are Christian, Catholic, either one, right? And so the Dodgers are gonna pander to this group and re-invite this group to their event. Well, first, I mean, here's my opinion. First of all, I don't think any team, any league, anything should be having pride nights. That's just in the first place, right? And secondly, it's like you invite these kind of groups that when you come to think about it, it's like, okay, what are they doing? Like, what's their point of like this group doing what they do? Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. Like, what is their point? What does society benefit from this group? I mean, there's nothing that I can think of. I mean, I
Well,
I,
for
I
me,
just
it's just I want to know if it's if it continues to be, again, the people that are yelling the loudest, right? Is it just cool to be oppressed right now? Is it whoever's the most oppressed? But again, I don't think us being born in the good U.S. of A. no true oppression. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah,
And we just have, I don't know.
but that's
It's
the thing. That exactly what you said right now. There is no oppression. There's all this that they feel like they're supposedly getting targeted and attacked daily and all this other junk. It's like none of that's true. Like there is no oppression like that. These people can do whatever they want to do. You know what I mean? They're free to do what they want to do. The problem is, and where they're messing up is they're throwing it in our face, right? Repeatedly. They're making everybody try to, what do you call it? They're making everybody try to conform to them. You know what I mean? And then to go even further, it's like, okay, now they're targeting kids. So it makes you wonder, okay, what's the end game? Again, also, what benefit to society does it have? You know, they're not threatened. They can do whatever they want to do in their free time. But why do we have to indulge in their, or why do we have to be in their, you know,
Why do I have to play the games?
yeah, why do
Why do
I?
I have to participate?
Exactly. It's like they don't want to participate in what I'm doing, right? Because if we say we're Christian straight males, to them we're already
Which I
evil,
am. Shout out.
right? We're already evil. But if we leave them alone, and again, I don't agree with the lifestyle, but if that's what you want to do in your own time, in your house, whatever, behind closed doors, that's up to you, right? And that's not my business. I don't need that stuff everywhere. I think that's where they're messing up. They're trying to throw it everywhere, especially now. Like I said, it's getting to the kids. It's I don't know what their end game is.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, you don't want to see it everywhere, right? I think, when they do those parades or whatever it is, you do see the naked guy from time to time or the naked girl or whatever it is. That's still indecent exposure, right?
Mhm,
It's not good for a little kid to see. And sometimes you see them like in the midst of all of that. And then you hear sometimes, in these other parades that get canceled by, the group themselves because they can't bring kids to the parade, something along those lines, which is crazy to me. If that's one of the requirements, I mean, yeah, don't bring the kids, let's get this party going. But but
yeah,
why do they need them there? But again,
I it makes you think that the end game, like if you leave it, like if you don't clarify what your end game is with all this stuff, it's like, okay, then I start to think, okay, the end game is pedophilia.
yeah.
That's where my
Bill
mind starts
Gates,
to
we're
go,
on to you.
because they're targeting kids, right? They're trying to normalize this for kids. You got the uh who was it? Oh man, I'm going blank. The Was it the WHO, or no, no, no. The people that were giving their recommendations about consent, that we talked about a couple episodes ago.
Mm.
It's like you got that going on. And it's like, well, okay, you're just trying to normalize pedophilia, right? And it's probably because, you know, some of these people that have power are probably in that boat. I mean, why else would you want to normalize that and act like it's all good? You know what I mean? So that group that's going to the Dodger game, again, I don't know their end game, right? From what I see, is they're just there to mock Christians, to mock uh Jesus, to mock, God and all that. And, as a believer, I believe that they're gonna have their, you know, when it's all over, they're gonna have they're gonna deal with the consequences.
No,
You know what I
Damien,
mean?
I hear you. It hurts because, again, like you said, they don't want to participate in my stuff, and maybe I don't want to participate in their thing.
Mhm,
And but yet, one of us can get away with, putting the other down by making, a half nude Jesus strip up a cross, and that hurts me. Come on, man. And go ahead, do what you got to do. This is United States of America. But again, you know, don't be mad that there is pushback. The same way you're pushing back on some of the things that we want to go ahead and believe in. It works both ways. You
mhm.
know.
And that's the thing where it's like, I don't know. I mean, it's that's the thing where they don't give you that same level of, whatever you want to call it, respect or whatever, where, you know they want everybody to, oh, let me live my life like this, however I want, this and that, right? And again, nobody's stopping you, but you're messing up because you're throwing it in my face. And then when I'm telling you I don't like it, then you're calling me names and you're
Right.
saying I'm evil and
Right.
I'm the bad guy. But you want to be dressed up like a woman dancing in front of kids, but I'm the bad guy.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I understand because I go to church, I go to synagogue, and I don't expect my little brother goes to school, public school. I don't expect them to teach him anything about religion inside of school, and that's fine. There's a separation, but it should be the same way with something like critical race theory or something along he shouldn't be learning about LGBTQ stuff at school from the teacher.
mhm,
You're not going to escape that from the kids talking amongst each other. But again, the teacher shouldn't be holding like a little seminar or changing the whole curriculum so they learn this new type of they want to call history
mhm.
or brainwashing, whatever people want to call it, or if there even is an actual name to it. you know there should always be a division, and again, there's that.
And then you bring up a good point because, like, yeah, it's you know, it's brought up in the schools, and hold on, let me see. I think I lost Christian, but yeah, what he was saying is it's brought up in the schools. So why does a teacher, why do schools have to, you know, talk about that to kids? You
Yeah.
know, it's like what's the purpose of that? I remember back in the days when I was going to school, I remember that, like, you basically needed, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm remembering this right. You basically needed your parents' permission to do the sex ed portion when you were like in, I don't remember if it was like 6th or 7th grade or
It's
something like
grade
that.
fifth grade, I think.
Yeah, something like that. And it's like you needed your parents' permission. Like they send a notice to your parents like, "Hey, this next week or this tomorrow or, whatever, we're going to be covering this. If you don't want your kid to listen to that or be a part of that, basically let us know and, you know, we'll pull them aside and we'll have them
Hey
do something else."
Daniel, and it's so funny because sorry to cut you off, but I remember being in that fifth grade class, in that sexual ed class, and I remember just looking to the side because there were kids back in the day that wouldn't participate, and it
Mhm.
was those apostolic kids. I remember I'd look at them and be like, "Damn, no Halloween, damn, no sex ed, damn, you can't watch Napoleon Dynamite," you know. But again, I would have called that kid parents like pasándose
Yeah, yeah,
demasiado,
yeah.
right? Too much, dude. But now you kind of understand, man. Maybe I
Yeah.
don't want my kid watching Moana or watching, because there are these hidden messages. There are these little things, and maybe it wasn't so crazy at the time, and it was, subjective, pues.
Yeah. No, and it's definitely gotten worse, as we've talked about before, with time, just things seem to be getting just worse and worse, right? And and it's like that whole having, all these pronouns and sexual orientations and okay, gender identity and all this stuff, and you're feeding it to, kids that are in second, third grade, first grade, whatever, like, as some instances pretty young, like you're confusing these kids.
Right.
And it's like, what's I don't see, again, I don't see it benefiting society in any way. So I think they need to get back to that. If for again, like, if you want to do sex ed, like, okay, I guess do it at a later grade, right? But if you're trying to teach kids about sex when they're in second grade, it's like all you're doing is corrupting their minds, and you're planting that seed, right? Because kids are curious, and you're planting that seed that's just gonna grow with them, and then you got this whole mess
Daniel,
going on.
it's like when the kid falls over, right? And he looks up and he's looking around to see if somebody makes eye contact with him so he could just start crying. And everybody's like, don't move, right? And it's like, again, who is pushing for this? And it's the parents, Daniel. Why are they pushing for this? They're point me to the second grader, the first grader, the third, the fourth grader, the fifth grader that's going, teach me about sex because I'm doing it. Get the
Mhm.
heck out of here. You got bigger problems if you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? So that's coming from the parents. Oh my, I want my kids to know about this. You know,
Yeah,
and maybe I just don't see why you would want,
I
even
think.
somebody below sixth grade learn having to know about that. I
Yeah,
mean, you talk about second grade, you got to put a number on there. You're talking about a 6 year old, a 7 year old.
yeah. They got no business learning
They
about
have
that.
no business talking about that.
And any teacher that wants to talk to kids those ages about those topics, I think you got to question that teacher's, what they're trying, what their end game is, right?
Oh,
So, I think the the biggest part of the problem that contributes to all this, I think there's two factors, right? I think um one is like, yeah, parents are probably not as involved, or they're just kind of like, oh, it's no big deal, they're not hurting anybody. So I think parents or in a sense, the adults are weaker. uh and then the other thing, which I think is bigger and more important, is I think overall just how the country's moved away a lot from God. So, again, like even if you put it in that perspective, it's like you can talk to the kids about all this stuff that they shouldn't be hearing, but you can't talk to them about the Bible or God. You know what I mean? They can't even say the Pledge of Allegiance because it says one nation under God. Like, I think that is a huge part of the downfall of where we are now. So, you know, I don't know. What do you think of that?
yeah. I just think, yeah, I don't know. It's just, yeah, times are changing. I do think there are a little bit, there's more atheists. There's more different beliefs,
Hmm.
even if you do know about Jesus, you do know about, the Bible, whether you're an observer is different from whether you have faith, you know. And then there's some people that use the Bible as some type of, a guide. And if you're able to use a guide, I don't see where the Bible can steer you wrong. It's same thing as the law. There's a stop sign there for a reason, and so you don't get T-boned, when you're crossing the street.
Yeah.
So it's not gonna hurt you to go ahead and stop.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can see, you know, again, people want to go ahead and say, and it's again, you understandable. Some people are they have a bad experience with religion or the church or whatever, but they'll go ahead and want to say, well, religion is responsible for all these wars of back in the day
Yeah.
and all that time. But religion also brought civility. Religion brought people out of the woods and to calm down. you know
Yeah.
Everything that we use today, that's civil. That can go today, tomorrow, with just one nuke, or
Hmm.
let all the stock market crash again, and we'll see, where everyone's at. But I just think you gotta play it safe. 'Cause shoot, shoot,
No, I mean it goes back to kind of one of the things that we said from the beginning, right? I think there's a lot of people in power that have no morals, and the people with no morals are the ones that are going to be in power because they're going to do whatever it takes to get there. And I don't know. I think that contributes to everything.
yeah,
Why the country is in the shape that it's in,
yeah,
why, you know,
yeah,
the people that get demonized are the Christians, and the
yeah,
people that, are out here trying to sexualize kids, you know, it's all about inclusivity
yeah.
and let them live. You know what I mean?
There's no morality. That's why you hear that why there's so many single men from the age of 21 to like 40. There's a lot of them that are single, and not only single, obese, not only obese, but they have no job, not only no job, but they don't want to work. So even if it's available, and this is happening to the man.
Mm-hmm.
This is us. This is our age, the millennial Z, whoever. No one's escaping it anymore. People
Mm-hmm.
just they're not the same. And I think it is because we do live in, not to get hacky, but in soft times. These are good times,
Mm-hmm.
Daniel. These are really good times. It is unfortunate that you got all these other things popping off, but if you, if you wake up, it's a good day already, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and then you take it from there. But along the way, you're always gonna get mad, and it's unfortunate, but again, we should be blessed where where we're at least.
Yeah, yeah. No, I definitely I agree with that. I think that again, that's probably another other part of the problems that I was talking about is yeah, men are weak, right? As far as like there's no I mean there are men obviously that are trying to fight against this, trying to keep their families intact, that are doing what they can to provide, taking care of their business and doing what they got to do.
Right,
But like we said before, it's like right now it's like people just want to take the easy route, right? They want to take the easy route in everything. That's why you get a lot of these things that get so much what do you call it? Promotion, if you will, right? Being single, playing video games,
yeah,
just sitting on the couch, or if you're sleeping around with other people, you're not starting a family, right? You're not doing all
right,
those traditional things that have kept, you know, society moving for
right,
hundreds and thousands of years. It's like
right,
none of that stuff is being pushed out there anymore. It's
right,
like the opposite, and it's destroying, you know just
right.
in general, destroying the country, the world. And I think more people gotta like rise up and start
Yeah. Hey,
talking
Daniel,
about
it's
this.
not that you and me are the most alpha. It's just we just need the other guy. If guys in general just did a couple percentage, 13% more being, on top of things.
Hmm.
The guy should always be the head, not the tail. And
Yeah.
it sounds rough, and it's not to put women down. A guy is nothing without, his woman, his beloved. She's gonna steer the house in the direction while he's away, and it's one doesn't complete without the other, you know.
Hmm.
And right now there is no marriage. There
No.
is, and it's meeting my own words, but I'm gonna have to get married soon, so and it's like
Breaking news.
breaking news. But hey man, I think it's morality. If not, you're
Yeah.
single, you're alone, you're a lot of time alone, and you're thinking, and it's just not good for you. So I do think, yeah, I think more guys should just ponte las pilas.
Yeah. No, yeah, for real. I mean, I think that's kind of what it takes too, right? It's the guys gotta step up and just controversial statement here, but man up, you know. So well, I just think that these companies, these teams, whatever it is, right? These corporations that are pushing all this stuff, they're gonna learn the hard way. Um, they're gonna lose money. Bud Light's already lost money. North Face is gonna lose money. The Dodgers probably lost a boatload of fans already. Um, Target's gonna lose money, so they're all gonna learn the hard way. And again, when you got a business, you should be trying to not offend or not how do you put it? Not discriminate like a majority of the base, right? Of the people that are on this country. So to keep a certain percentage happy. I mean, they're gonna learn the hard way. So
Hey
you
Daniel,
know,
and I'll let Target slide, dude. It's Budweiser and Bud Light. You guys did it to yourselves. You know who your main market was, and you went ahead and did it. That's all right. Target, we gotta talk. We got don't do this to me. We just got to target an EPA. Don't do this to me.
No, and and maybe they do that because okay, Target. They do that because they go, okay, a lot of people shop here. We got groceries, we got clothes, we got whatever you need for your home. They got everything, right? It's yeah, it's a convenient store to go into, get what you need. And for the most part, they're pretty local, they're pretty close. You know what I mean? You don't have to travel far. There's
Yeah.
Target everywhere. And
Expensive but close.
and then maybe that's why they do it, because they know, you know what, at a convenience and at a need, people aren't going to change their shopping habits. They're gonna keep coming here. It doesn't matter what we put out there. If we put a bathing suit that has a thing where you can, for a boy to tuck his thing, no, they're just gonna keep going because nobody's gonna they're not gonna feel the loss, right? Maybe they're that confident, and that's why they do it. And you know,
And, I think, and this is going to be my divisive, clip. Um, you know, Putting it again, I've been to a whole bunch of Targets. Number one Target. But and again, like you said, right in the front, right in the front, dude.
mhm,
And again, I think the first one that I always see is, and I kind of look for it now when I show up. It's like, they don't got that shirt, but they got it in this one. And I think it's trans lives exist. And I say, of
mm,
course they do, right? Of course they do. Um, but if the whole motive, again, if we're talking about motives, is to normalize, I think you know trans isn't being normal, whether they want to go ahead and say so.
mhm,
you know if my little brother were to come up to me and tell me, whenever at the age of 18 or 16 or 4, if I pay attention to him, he tells me I'm trans, I'm not, I'll be super sad. I'll be super sad. I'll be a little upset, but it won't be because I hate my brother.
mhm,
It'll be because I know that tough road ahead. And I know that somewhere along the line, something got into his head. Something almost made sense to him, or made sense to him enough for him to feel that way.
mhm,
And that's what I'm not up for. That I have to put up all these other little blocks and like, oh, when hey, don't look at that. Oh, don't look at that. Don't, and it's like,
mhm.
can a kid just be a kid?
Yeah,
I don't want to be, fuck, is my gonna be suicidal? You don't worry about that.
yeah,
Is my son gonna, you don't worry about those type of things. But now it's like, is my son gonna come up with the thing of I'm trans?
mhm,
you know that's my little thing where you're trying to normalize it. And if you look into these numbers, I mean, these are shadowy numbers.
mhm.
Just go ahead after this, viewers, whatever you want to do, look at the suicide rate. It's not
Yeah,
something to even laugh at. It's sad.
mhm,
Is the procedures that they have to do don't work.
yeah.
It's sad. And that's just my take. If they're trying
But
to
that's
normalize
that's the
that,
that's the reality that they don't want to talk about. Like that's the part where it gets upsetting. It's like they make it seem like doing all these procedures, doing all this or that, talking to the kids about this, confusing kids, like it's all good. That there's no negative effects.
you know,
Like that's the problem. It's like they're not living in reality. We're living in reality. We see the negative. It's like before COVID, and like the best thing I could compare it to before COVID, you would watch an ad for a pharmaceutical thing, and at the end of the ad, you had that speed reader telling you all the side effects. You know, yeah, yeah, you might die in 20 minutes of a heart attack,
die on a Tuesday.
but yeah, but your arm will stop itching. It's like,
Go
okay,
with the
like
punch.
maybe I'll deal with the itch instead of dying in 20 minutes. So, like, it would tell you all that. And then as soon as, COVID happened and the whole vaccine thing, like you didn't hear, there was no side effects. All of a sudden, all of a sudden, you know, not only did they make a vaccine in under a year, they happen to make one with zero side effects to everybody. Like
Never
that's
before.
that's a bigger accomplishment, right?
No,
No,
and then if we're gonna go ahead and talk about procedures, Daniel, I am 5'5", and I might be adding 2 or 3 or 4 inches, to my height. Okay, I just saw that there's a procedure going on for a short guy, short kings like me, where you add 6 inches, where I could be 6 feet. You don't think I want to do that? You don't think, Daniel, that I want to give up running to be 6 feet and say, "Hey, how's it going, everyone?" I'll give it all up, you know. But again, that's not gonna make me really happy. I wasn't born 6 foot.
yeah.
I didn't go my thought. Again, I would have to give up running, jumping, moving fast, reading. I don't know. Tall people are dumb. I'm just kidding. I'm just jealous, guys. But something like that. And again, those procedures that they do, they're not real. Whether it's an
Yeah.
inverted penis or they took a big piece of meat out of your thigh and used that to mold you one. You
Mhm.
know.
Yeah, those procedures look brutal. And then when you're talking about doing it on
Yeah.
kids and acting like it's all good, like
Yeah.
they're not gonna have any long-term effects when they get older. Like, kids, kids are dumb, right? That's why as a parent, you have to like be on them. Hey, do this, do that, do your work. You know what I mean? You gotta stay on top of them,
Yeah.
because if you leave your kids to kind of roam for themselves and just be on their own, they're not gonna make it.
Yeah.
That's just a fact, right? And it's like to get to the point where we're allowing kids to make these serious life altering decisions is where, again, when I don't know what the end game is, like I'm gonna get to my conclusions and I'm gonna go, no, it's not worth it. And I'm gonna speak up against it. So, and me speaking up against it, again, is not me being a hateful person. I'm just seeing something.
Yeah.
I'm living in reality, and I'm not gonna pretend like everything is all good when it's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I
you know,
I don't want. I'm not gonna lie to myself. I would look like Matumbo running around. Those would not be my legs. So
but hey,
yeah,
well,
man.
we'll,
It's
we'll we'll see what happens with all that. But oh, I had this because we talked about on the last episode we talked about Schiff, and you know I have
all my boys hate shit.
yeah, all of them.
All of them.
So, you know, they're still. I think one of the congresswoman, I think Ana Paulina is trying to get him removed from Congress, right? Because he lied to the American people, and I think she's also included something where he should get fined. I want to say 16 million for the amount of money he cost taxpayers. Um, so
Oh, is this the COVID thing where he was lying to me?
no, it's Schiff when he was lying about like all the Russia thing.
Oh,
So look, I'll play
so
you
many
this.
people lie to me, dude.
I'll play you this video, and you'll see. Watch. I'm pretty sure as soon as you see this fool, you're gonna be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, this guy."
In which the Russians offered help, which we know they did. The campaign accepted help, which we know they did. The Russians then delivered help, which we know they did.
There is circumstantial evidence of collusion.
The case is more than that, and I can't go into the particulars, but there is more than circumstantial evidence now. So,
You've said on more than one occasion that you've seen ample evidence of the Trump campaign's Russia collusion. Last March, you said you had more than circumstantial evidence of treasonous collusion with Russia.
I've certainly said that there's ample evidence of collusion.
Can you agree that there has been no evidence of collusion, coordination, or conspiracy that has been presented thus far between the Trump campaign and Russia?
No, I don't agree with that at all. I think there's plenty of evidence of collusion or conspiracy. But we do know this. The Russians offered help. The campaign accepted help. The Russians gave help, and the president made full use of that help. And that is pretty damning. Reviewing the evidence that I have.
Damn.
The hypocrites, man. Sometimes they forget what they say.
Nah, this fool, no way he forgot what he said. This dude knew exactly what he was doing. He knew he was lying to people because the words he's using, he's he's in the media, on the news.
These are all the
Yeah,
earmarks of Russian disinformation.
yeah. He's on the main, you know, mainstream media saying he's seen substantial evidence. The words he used,
Yeah,
substantial.
vague.
And it's like, okay, that means
Put a
no,
number
no.
on
You tell me
substantial.
substantial, you got it. You got that hard evidence where it's like you just got to go look. It's right here,
What
easy.
does it
Boom,
mean?
here. And it's like, so you're telling me two investigations that both turned out that you know nothing was there,
Who's investigating the investigators?
and this dude, like, he purposely lied to the American public to do,
That's you, listener.
yeah, to the American public, so that people would not vote for Trump, so that people would be upset
That's you.
all 4 years, thinking that the Russians are the reason Trump is in office, not because the American people have had enough with all the BS of the political system, of all the BS from the Obama administration. It's like, no, they had people thinking a Russian, Putin put Trump in there. And that's what this guy was doing time and time again on the news, lying to people, interfering. That's election interference. That's what I don't understand, right? It's like,
It's a lot, and people want to think election fraud is all the ballots. It's like, nah, man. How did you influence people? How did you sway somebody's vote without any, by hiding information? They hid a lot of stuff, dude.
mhm.
They hid some stuff in the Corvette too.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they this is like what I'm banking on. I'm banking people have seen that they were lied to, that they were manipulated. Again, hopefully little by little people are waking up to it. And it just, it's a tactic that they do. They did it with Trump. They've done it with Trump for the past, when did he announce? 2015. So we're in 2023. What is that? Basically almost 7 to 8 years, depending on when he announced. They've been manipulating people to just, I guess, really hate the guy. Sometimes he doesn't help himself, but you know, a majority of it has been the media, politicians, all these people just, lying to the public so that they can get in power, right? And now they're in power. They got their guy in, and look what's happening to everybody.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's like, uh, careful what you wish for, kind of thing. I don't know, but again, hopefully these day-to-day experiences have people realizing, yeah, that probably wasn't the best choice.
No.
And I think you see it, like, online.
And Daniel, what choices out of desperation, what choices out of emotion,
Mhm,
what good comes out of that? You
mhm.
hated Trump so bad, you fed into the lies, you fed into the everything. They even got you to make fun of people that were saying, do your own research. Like, dude, of course I'm not doing the lab. Of course I'm not, running tests. But I can Google things. I can bring things
Yeah.
up. Of course I'm not doing extensive. Anybody can look up any a server too if you go to college, and quickly see, that the what is it, the World Economic Forum were woofing out their butts. All these guys, they're lying, giving us numbers and hiding numbers that are like, actually we're doing all right. This and this much died, but they hide the fact that they were all over 70s or they were all 99 years old. They hide that part, and you just see a million people die. You're like, oh my God, next.
Yeah.
And, little did you know, you're going to be all right. No
Yeah.
booster.
No, and speaking of 99-year-olds, it's like, That's why they need, like, in government, Congress, Senate. It's like, dude, once you hit, I would say the retirement age, it's like, all right, you can't be in government no more.
Or once you look like Rachel Feinstein, damn.
Damn.
Dude, get
Yeah,
on Mama News, retire, man.
she looks
And
rough.
the other thing is, Rachel Feinstein, she's like 200
Diane.
million or something like that she's worth. And she's 92, 80 something, sitting on a wheelchair, and I was listening to something that said that the Democrats knew in 2017 that she had gotten shingles, gave her or something. She had shingles, dementia, all types of strokes and cerebral things are shutting down, and they just have her in a wheelchair. Hillary Clinton yesterday just came out and said that she shouldn't retire. Look at her.
Yeah.
Look at Rachel Feinstein. I would not want my grandma. The only people that want them in is Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi herself is retired. Good for you, right? Who's put so they put a caretaker to Feinstein. Who is it? Nancy Pelosi's daughter. One of her daughters is pushing around, being her caretaker, pushing around a vegetable. And I'm hearing it's because it's all because Bob Lee, is he somebody? Bob Lee?
Bubbly.
Because I guess something Rachel Feinstein isn't letting your boy Gavin Newsom get somebody in. And
well, if what's her name? Diane. It's Diane Feinstein, right?
Diane Feinstein. I don't know what I said. They all the same.
No, I think if she steps down, then Newsom as the governor selects the senator to,
and he said black woman
to replace her. But I mean, yeah, she's like, how is she voting for anything?
She
Like,
can't.
clearly,
She has to be president.
right? And if she is president, like, how does who's voting for her? Because I don't think she's not all there, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, if you've seen recent pictures of her, she's not all there. She's
Yeah.
too old. So, like, my point was,
no, she's not all. She's not there.
yeah, she's physically not there.
She's
Once you hit that age, retirement age, like 65 or 67, whatever it is, I think, like, that should be like the cap. Like, that's it. You can't be in government no more, because it's like, yeah, you got people like Diane
too
Feinstein.
far away, dude. You're too far away, Daniel. Was slavery still legal when Biden was a kid born? Or like, no, what did he put in implement? Didn't he have a couple of those bad wasn't stop and frisk Biden?
She's 89 years old.
Yeah.
You have a 89-year-old person making decisions, on how our country is gonna be run in the future. You have 89-year-olds making that decision, and not gonna be here long to see the effects of that. You know what I mean? It's like,
let her go.
Like, she's,
oh my gosh,
that's her currently, and it's like, that's why they need an age limit for sure for Congress, right? I mean, if they're not gonna put a term limit as far as how long you can run for this, they got to put some kind of age limit, because again, you can't have these
it's
80-year-olds making all these decisions that are going to affect people that, for the most part, still got a majority of their life.
And it's bipartisan, both sides.
Yeah, both sides.
It's just it's a money making machine. Because tell me, Daniel, what is she bringing that she's like, oh yeah, you know what this generation needs? You know what this generation needs right here? No, she's not doing none of that. There's nothing. She's so far attached from, when she used to play sticks with, hula hoops and stuff, whatever she was running through corn mazes. It's a different time. What is she offering? It just shows that they're using her as a pawn. Her own friends, the Democratic Party, the Democrats, I'm sorry. They're doing that to the girl. Just a pawn. So that they can further themselves, so they can stay in that money machine.
And that's like, okay, we're in California. That's our senator.
Yeah. She's not helping us.
She's not helping. Well, even if she wasn't in that,
she wouldn't
be helping us at all. But even now, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
she's really not helping us.
She's on my payroll.
Yeah. The tax money goes to her or Ukraine.
Feisty, give me some.
I don't know. I just think that, you know, we gotta fix that for sure. When
Yeah.
you can't have these people that old, you know, making these decisions. And you know, I don't know. Yeah, I think that, like you said, that shows you right there, right?
Or
How
Daniel, if we don't want to go ahead and be ageist, because everybody is offended, right? Go on the other side of the party. Trump, he's
Mhm.
kind of close to Biden, but he's crisp.
Yeah, it's a big difference in the
There's
cognitive.
give him your cognitive test. Do it. If you could pass it, man, and you're fucking sick and you want to take over another 7 countries, roll tide. Let's go. Let's do it. You know, but as long as you pass that test, if not, don't be nuking nobody that we don't want. You know, because I back my office. I back my presidency. USA all day.
And that's that double standard too, right? It's like you kept hearing all the time about Trump. Like, does he have the cognitive ability? Like, basically, is he not crazy
Oh,
to you know, to run the country? And
yeah.
it's like with this guy, ain't no peep. He's the sickest president I think anybody has ever seen, and nothing. They
And
want to
Daniel,
act like he's healthy, no issues, good to go.
before we go, before we go, ah, speaking of the man himself, of Biden, F-16s, you saw that?
No, no. What did?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Not so long ago, they said Biden said in a speech that we would not be giving F-16s to Ukraine because we feared that they would use it on offensive missions. I think a couple days ago, 2 days ago, he said that we're going to supply F-16s, you know, and then drop the mic saying, you know, it's only bad for Russia or whatever, you know, but still, man, F-16s, that's an offensive weapon. And what do they do, Daniel? That same day that Biden says, we went ahead and attacked Russia, inside of Russia. So,
Yeah,
you
here
know,
it is.
they're not being bashful about it. Ukraine wants to drag us into the war. I don't see it any fucking give them whatever you want to give them, but don't drag us in. And they want to. Why, Daniel? Because uh if fucking oh, I'm terribly sorry.
It's all
I
good. It's
got into it, man.
free
But
speech.
again, if Greenland bombs us with English jets, who are we gonna come after?
Yeah,
Greenland or English? England.
yeah. Well, England supplied him, right?
Well,
They-
I'm coming after you, baby.
yeah,
You know? So same thing with us. We're supplying them. And then when is it gonna be enough for the Russians to say, guys, that's now you're fighting with us? Because not only are we supplying them, we're teaching them how to fly these things.
yeah.
And
And
you know,
yeah,
those
that's all it's gonna
F-16s
do is escalate it for sure.
escalate,
I mean,
drag us in.
it doesn't do anything to calm the situation down. Um, you know,
Daniel.
every day it's like you're closer and closer to World War III, right? I mean, I hey,
Well, you hear Ukraine is starting to draft 55-year-olds.
really?
55-year-olds, Daniel. No one's no one's safe.
No one saved them.
So
Are they? I mean, what I don't get about this war too, it's like Russia,
China.
Russia.
China.
You're supposed to be this big dog, this powerhouse. Why are you struggling?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what's going on?
And the worst part is, Daniel, I just don't think they have to struggle. I think that foot is on that gas pedal like this. You know, at the same time, is China really gonna throw down super hard for Russia if Germany gets really upset? all you need is Germany, really. Everybody else doesn't really matter. Germany is the one that's holding all this up. They're BFFs. I don't think they would have wanted Nord Stream to get bombed. That was now they had a very cold winter, because pro-allied Ukrainian group, probably American, sabotage that pipeline or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot, man. But it's a proxy war, dude.
Yeah. I mean, we're in it, right?
Yeah.
Indirectly, but we're in it.
Yeah, screw
And
those people in Flint, Michigan.
yeah, screw the border towns.
Yeah.
Dude, I saw something today. Like, it's like I feel like I'm always talking about the border, but it's like also it's like yeah, somebody's got to talk about it because it. I saw something where it said that I think it said a smuggler dropped a 4-year-old from the 30-foot wall. Like, think about that. My daughter, my little one's 4. What we work in, right?
Yeah.
We don't want guys falling 8 feet. We don't want grown men falling 8 feet.
Yeah.
And then you got these smugglers that drop a 4-year-old 30 feet from the border wall in San Diego. It's like, you know,
And chances are they got paid nice for that 4-year-old to get across, dude, to get chucked over the border wall.
that's insane. Like it, when I talk about the border and I post things on the border, you always get people that are commenting like F you or you're dumb, you don't know, or basically like I'm some kind of traitor to the Mexican race. But it's like I said it before, it's like it's not that we're anti-Mexican, anti-Latino, and it's like there's real issues going on, way more layered than that. And it's like when I see things like that, uh, when I see things like that, it it's like infuriating because it's like if people were to do things the correct way, right? Which is all we're saying is like, don't put yourself at risk. Don't put your kids at risk. Like if you do things the way they're supposed to be done, you avoid all this stuff. And I think that's the part where it gets infuriating and you don't hear about it, on the news. Like I mean, I don't know, I could check their website, but I don't think Univision uh talked about I'm assuming Coyote that dropped the 4-year-old
Mm-mm.
from a 30-foot wall.
Not unless that 4-year-old was related to Jorge Ramos. You won't hear a damn thing about it.
So yeah, like that's it's I don't know. I guess that could be a whole nother episode, but that's that's why we talk about the border, because it's a 4-year-old boy, and you know it's just crazy. They even got the video of it.
Mm.
Let's see. Say a 4-year-old was here. I'll share this with you. It's like I feel like I gotta share things because then
Yeah.
people are gonna be like, "Oh, he's making this up." It's like this is from CNN, so if you trust CNN, here you go. It says a 4-year-old was dropped from a border barrier
I
by an
do.
unknown subject, San Diego. Responding agency providing first aid. The child also reported gunshots near their position while tending to the child. Remarkably, the child is okay. Do not trust smugglers. Let's see. Let's see if I play this. Can you see that? So he's on top of the wall. And I think the kid's like dangling from his legs. Oh, yeah. And the kid drops.
Dang. Wow. What the?
That kid, wow. Landed on his feet.
Oh, that he's already on the ground. That's the one that.
I'm pretty sure that's it. Unless, oh shit.
He got up quick then.
Oh. No, that was the second one. Didn't fall.
Oh, they lowered him with the rope. The other one just slid. Oh no.
Yeah, the
You talk
second
about
child, he just
4-year-old
kind of threw
grip,
down.
man.
Oh, look, he's carrying the. That's crazy, dude. That's infuriating. It's like, I don't know. I think, yeah, I don't know. I think people need to make better decisions on that. I get like people want a better life, but if you're gonna put your kid through that, allow your kid to be dropped 30 feet from a wall, you know, it's crazy. I don't know. I don't know what to say. But anywho, well, we can talk about that next time. But I guess Danny got too busy. But we'll be. That's it. You got anything else?
Arrest Hillary Clinton. Lock up Fauci. Who built the pyramids?
Our aliens real?
Somebody's lying to me.
But yeah, man. No, I mean, hopefully, we talked about a lot. So, hopefully people listening to this audio, hopefully you enjoyed it. And, we'll be pretty much basically the schedule is going to be, we're going to be live every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So, you can catch us on the YouTube page live. And, you can come in. If you comment on the YouTube page, we see the comments. So, we're just, if you want to participate in the show, if you got any guest suggestions. So, coming up, I think we're going to have, I got to finalize the dates, but, we're going to have Rocco from Mayans on the show. We're going to have Chingo Bling on the show. So,
Didn't
just
you
got to get
say
the
Elon
dates.
Musk or something? Or
Yeah.
we're not time to cast that yet.
We're going to interview Biden.
Oh.
But but seriously though, we're gonna have some more guests, and we're just gonna keep talking about these topics, and like always the goal is give people a different perspective, and again, telling people do their research and land where they land, but at least kind of get the other side from it too. But with that being said, thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode.